Ryze is a great pick overall. Can be flexed as well. Tons of utility. Packs the damage as the game goes on. Certainly a good one in this day and age. Ezreal going to be picked up pretty quickly here. It is Teddy after all.
Maybe they just lock in the Ezreal and Tahm Kench and go for a super safe bottom lane. I guess a Braum would probably be another option, but it will be the Ezreal Tahm for SKT. And now Afreeca have the option to pick up the Braum and try to go for an aggressive bot lane, but instead, Lulu. Now, if this does end up being Lulu down in the bottom lane, she can definitely add a lot of pain and pressure onto the Tahm. It's not the Soraka or the Zyra that can abuse Tahm quite as hard, or I guess a little bit less common would be maybe a Brand. But nonetheless, it could still be something. Freaking out, banning away the Elise from Clid.
And
perhaps
Vayne.
they'll even take away the Lee Sin.
I like the Vayne ban. They're really giving thought to the idea that either King could play either Vayne or Lucian top. It's a cool idea.
Rek'Sai now banned away. This does mean that Lee Sin is still on the table. Now, some of the junglers that combo well with Lulu are obviously Jarvan. Olaf is fine as well. Kled, although I'm doubtful that we'll see that here in the LCK.
Yeah. Karthus, because he combos with anything.
Kai'Sa.
Ooh.
Jarvan. And so now if you're SK Telecom, you can just pick up the Lee Sin if you really want it for Klid. And then you're going in blind against the Ryze. But if you want to have a power top and mid lane, you could just pick up Syndra blind. Although Aurelia is still on the table. It's not a champion that strikes me as Sun being willing to play.
Yeah. I do love the hover of the Kai'Sa.
There's LeBlanc.
Okay. Faker coming out here in this game.
And now that's going to end up being responded with Syndra. And so that will be Keen up there in the top lane piloting the Aftershock Ryze against Khan's Jace. And these are very explosive team compositions. There's a lot of focus on the left side of the map. Around mid and top is where this game can really be decided from. Whereas Aiming and Jelly, they are content to just be left on an island saying, leave Clid away from us and we should be able to take over the bottom lane. Teleport for both ADCs seem to be the summoner spell of choice. As the coaches now will exit the stage. Can he do it? Valdez, can Keen? That's the big question.
That's really the only guy you have open on the side of Afreeca.
He's like Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
That's what he is.
I agree.
Ezreal, Sir Thomas Kench, LeBlanc, Lee Sin in Jace is the team composition for SK Telecom. So they want to get ahead in mid and top very early on. And then the Ezreal will act as the insurance policy, but then they can transition into Ezreal Jace, which is quite a lot of poke with LeBlanc being able to pick off Stranglers, having the defensive components inside of the Tahm Kench. Whereas on the flip side, for Afreeca, if the Ryze or Syndra manage to get ahead, the ability to suffocate the SKT team composition is very easy. Whereas Lucian and Lulu down in bottom lane, L and L, they are... Lelouch. I like that.
Yeah? That's their name?
That's their new name, Lelouch.
As we're going to hop into game number 1 right now. The Afreeca chance, a little bit less overwhelming. As we're going to point out, not the Aftershock. In fact, Keen, he's not going to sit back and try to just, survive against Khan. He wants to do the dirty damage.
Comment.
I love it.
Yeah. Comment on Rise. Here against Khan's Jace running Airy. And in the mid lane, Airy, summoner spell of choice for the Syndra. Also with the Ignite. And we take a look at the runes. So Rise definitely wanting to get very aggressive. Taking Scorch. Both players are actually taking Scorch.
Taste of Blood, too. You see a Ravenous Hunter here on Keen, whereas it's Ghost Poro for Khan. Khan can drop the Poro in the side brush and then ward the tri-brush so that he's even safer to put on that damage. So it is actually pretty common in the top lane that you do take that rune.
The weird thing is that the Lulu has bone plating, which just strikes me as so bizarre against a poke comp, because poke comps don't care about bone plating, engage comps do. Not really entirely sure.
It was a misclick, LS.
Well, the Scorch on both top laners is also interesting as well.
Yeah.
If anyone ever goes into a 1v1 or even in your games, just check the damage that Scorch ends up dealing on your first recall, but then also at the end of the game.
You'll never take it again.
You'll never take it again.
That'll be the end. The first and last time. It can definitely be underwhelming at times.
Oh.
Okay.
Faker.
Doesn't have the chains yet.
Clid's gonna end up having to reveal himself here. As we can see now that Clid is transitioned left-hand side of the map. Ends up spotting Dread. It should also be noted that Dread is down both of his refillable potions already, although he is up a camp.
Oh, this is real quick. Level 2 coming on in with the red buff, but look at all the minions already doing the damage. Khan is gonna take so much damage, and Keen just laughs at them amongst his horde of minions.
They really...
What?
What?
I love her reaction at the same time as the chains are going to hit the minion, but Sun takes a turret shot. Okay, this is the League of Legends I signed up to watch.
Dun, 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 dun. He's gonna...
Here we go, okay. Over the wall, Keen does have flash, but he knows he's dead. That was a risky place to go for the recall, especially because the ward was just there. He just used it to get over the wall.
Well, Keen ends up saving his flash, probably knows that it's better for him to save it and then try to outplay Khan later than just use it to get away right there and just deny a little bit of gold from the opponent. And so that's actually quite a good choice.
Yeah.
Ends up picking himself up a Dark Shield and a Fairy Charm. Aiming and Jelly are trying to get some stuff done here down in the bottom. They're actually down CS. We take a look at this. Clid comes over, and you can just see there's way too many minions. Khan tries going in, actually lands the Shock Blast, which is very well done. But Clid, minion blocked for years, unable to throw his Q.
Here we go again. Q lands on a Keen. He doesn't have Aftershock this time, but he's still going to help out on the kill. Is not going to be able to survive
beautiful
here.
movement.
Okay,
blocking
nice try.
Clid.
Yeah, Dread able to pick that one up after his nice movement. He's got his Nikes on. Well done.
Well, Faker taking a lot of damage here in mid lane. There's no jungler coming to help. I don't know where Sun's going. Hello?
Well, he's going to clear out the zombie Poro, but he does give up a lot of pressure in the lane.
It's really Keen and friends.
Keen and his buddies.
Keen and his buddies here. We take a look at what's happening here. Keen flashes forward with the Rune Prison, yeah. Dread able to interrupt Khan right at the end there, and then watch Dread's movement.
Though.
Interrupting Clid, making it so that his minions can just keep helping out that much more. Meanwhile,
so much happening.
look at how Kami is. He tells him what to do in top lane.
Yeah. Nice push top.
Jelly coming into mid here, helping SK Telecom push out, or get pushed in.
Yeah, and that's because the chains landed and Clid was coming in to help out. So they got the flash away from Sun, and then Dread showed up again. And now Clid's going back to the top lane.
freeze gonna be present for SKT. Clid really trying to force the agenda here up in top lane.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they want to shut down the best player. It's like Camp Faker of old, except it's Camp Keen now.
And Dread now coming in here. We'll see if they look for a dive. I don't think so. He goes over the wall, channels his recall.
Both junglers just backing in the top lane, just in case anything's going to happen.
You can see how respectful Khan is being.
Yeah.
He's probably just going to crash that wave and then back, I am assuming. Meanwhile, down on the bottom half, Teddy and Mata doing Teddy and Mata things. They are ahead in the CS department. Still no tier on the Ezreal. We'll have to see if he actually just elects into Trinity Force, which wouldn't be that bad of an option, given that Afreeca, for the most part, don't have many champions that are going to be slowed down or influenced heavily by an Iceborne Gauntlet. We'll see.
Of course, grabbing that Sheen first just to deal with a rough lane of Evolution. A little bit faster as we find junglers in the river. Clid up a level. So Dread is not going to continue on to that one. Needs the Gromp to make it to his level 6, most likely.
And yeah, a little bit of a wall stay down here in bottom.
Yeah, what do you think about the Syndra builds here from Sun? Doesn't go Corrupting Pot, goes into Doran's and 2 health pots, and then doesn't pick up any Dark Seals, goes for a second Doran's ring.
There's a lot of builds that pro players do around the world that I really don't know, to be honest, if everyone... And I'm being completely sincere here, if everyone knows why they do the builds that they do. A lot of times we'll actually see players like the Dark Seal meta that ended up popping up. You just saw a lot of people starting to build Dark Seals even in spots where they didn't gain anything from Dark Seal sacking. And now here we have double Doran's ring, so you get the stats from the Dorans, which should then be used to convert it into lane dominance against the LeBlanc, but then that wasn't the way that Sun conducted himself inside of the lane. And so you have to wonder, well, why is that going to end up being the itemization of choice?
Yeah, it does raise some questions. By the way, Dread was level 5 for after Gromp and Wolves, so he was actually very far behind on XP from Clid. Now he's on a ward. Clid is just waiting here. And Dread, oh boy.
He doesn't know
Where
about
you going,
this.
Buddy? He's like, oh yeah, you know, I'll just come in here and steal the blue. He is going to see Clid now, though, on that control ward, so they give it away. As Khan also leaves the lane, so Dread can safely just back away and be okay with that. Okay, nice trade up in the top side. Keen taking an unbelievable amount of damage, but trades it back with the shield. Khan's out of mana now, so not that bad in the end.
Well, top laners do have teleport available. Keen electing to not shove the wave prior to recalling. Just ends up wanting to have a resetting wave. Sun now up a little bit in the CS department against Faker here. Gonna have his recall canceled by Faker's movement onto the right-hand side, but so far at 10 minutes, we had a lot of action in the first couple of minutes, but after that, nothing too exciting unfolding.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Dread, who is touted as an extremely aggressive jungler, actually start off a game 2-0 for once. Doesn't happen too often. Nothing against him, just Afreeca as a team haven't found too much success. Spirit always talked about this guy as like a up-and-coming new super aggressive jungler. That was, you know, the younger guy.
Yeah.
And brings in the Jarvan. Isn't going attack damage, funnily enough. We see a lot of Cinder Hulk Jarvan nowadays in the LCK as people have reverted back to that tank Jarvan status.
And Keen actually getting zoned out a little bit here by Khan's Jace. Interestingly, Teddy is electing into the Iceborne Gauntlet, but the only real threat of...
Look at Faker. He's trying to go 1v2 and bait that one out, but the flash knockup comes in, and Clid is late, but it doesn't matter. He cataclysms the clone as Faker gets away. Dread super low now. Faker trying to come back. The Q is gonna miss, and Teddy coming in. The chains are gonna land, and Faker dodges it again, as you can't lock him down at all. Faker gonna set up the play for 2 kills for SKT.
And that is a massive tempo swing right now for SK Telecom, as you just brought down the 2 primary carries on the side of Afreeca. And they're gonna net themselves the Rift Herald to boot. Unless Dread gets a funny idea.
He's got a lot of funny ideas in his head, especially after that play. As, okay, he's going in, but...
He really does.
Here we go, TP onto the flag. Culling comes out, but SKT are totally disengaged, so TP and nothing happens as the Rift Herald goes the way of SKT.
And the way that you can look at it as Afreeca, though, is that Keen was going to have to teleport into top lane anyway, so it's not like he's TPing too far off the mark.
True.
From where he would be going anyway.
I just want to see this Faker replay. This was insane.
Syndra's balls are freaking out right now. That is, she has already gone beyond the event horizon. And this is what's so surprising right here, is that Faker was marked by the Ignite on the right-hand side, but Dread not able to tell which one was the real one. Faker goes right back in with the chains. Keen ends up being brought down. Look at Rise, look at Rise.
No flash, no flash.
Okay.
Nice.
Line push.
Yeah. Mata always on the, the strategy right after the play. Doesn't get too excited. As Keen wins another trade in the top lane. We've come to expect this by now. Dread, though, trying to get frisky here. Does have that red smite. And Khan's like, hey, man, get out of my lane. But this could end up meaning another play does go the way here of Keen and friends. Up on the top side, Faker nearby, but Sun also on the move, so he's not going to overcommit.
30 seconds remaining on the plates.
Yeah, doesn't look like you have enough time to put it down and get some plates. It's kind of unfortunate. Faker once again in the top lane here. Flash available for Keen. Chains are going to go wide, but the flash in from Khan. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. The Mimic Chains make it happen as Faker gets another roam and another kill for his team.
And the Rift Herald's being summoned, but it's just a little bit too late. Plates have fallen. So Shelly, not going to have the best of time against this bottom tier 1 turret. Will still probably end up capturing it, though. As, never mind, Clid, Mata, and Teddy don't seem intent on forcing the issue. Sun and Dread were in close proximity. So this does mean that all the turrets are still remaining. We are still in the laning phase.
Yeah, everything's still up and available, but certainly does feel like SKT have got the better of this early game. Ocean Drake in the continuing laning phase also. Multiple outplays so far by Faker to make this early game just remind you of days of old, in a way. As he's doing it with the help of his friends, of course, but really some nice mechanics overall. That's not going to get stolen, as Dread just going to smite it down with his second smite.
And Keen going to try to eat the Golem camp, but he has really been put in the grave right here. You can see that Khan is about 10.5, 10.6 now in levels. Oh, wow.
Stealing a bunch of gold.
He stole everything.
Yeah. He's up about 500, but the difference is palpable. This early game rise, Keen now 0-4. All of a sudden, it feels. First turret goes down to Teddy.
And a 2K gold lead here for SK Telecom at 15 minutes. Yumu's Ghostblade was the first item of choice for Khan. We'll have to see if he just continues on into the pure lethality, or if he ends up picking up a Black Cleaver second. as there is quite a bit of physical damage on his team that he could help amplify the damage for.
And you can see already double Ninja Tabi in top and jungle here for Afreeca. They know what they're going up against.
Oh. True Shot Barrage comes out, doesn't end up doing all that much. Dread clears a ward. Blue buff was picked up by Teddy.
Oh, okay. That's why he was ulting.
Yeah.
So, although it looked confusing at first, they just wanted to hand that off to Teddy as Faker nowhere nearby, and Clid will not have his time wasted. It's probably a good idea anyway.
Faker down here in bottom lane to meet and catch the wave. He missed both at the end there.
I think he would have gotten the cannon. That might have been close here as Dread, taking out a ward, is going to be pushed away. He's the guy on his team that's actually fed, but after that early game, hasn't really been able to find much.
Oh, actually ends up chunking. Aiming as well. I mean, aiming will definitely be able to heal that back up, Blade of the Ruin King. So it's not the end of the world for him. Almost a 3,000 gold lead here, though, for SKT. As the rainy days continue in the Dragon department.
We've had one Infernal? And
we've had one Infernal.
One Mountain.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all you get. As Faker doing his thing, just poking. You mentioned stragglers. And as this team gets ahead, the lethality that Jace is packing alongside of Ezreal and the LeBlanc is going to get really annoying for the side of Afreeca. Can they even survive against that?
Archangel's now completed 14 on that rise. He's still going to be ways away from completing the Seraphs, but Afreeca's team composition, they're going to be wanting to fight. And okay, Teddy's getting a lot of value with these True Shot Barrages.
It's like he planned it all along. He's like, yeah, I wasn't going for the Lulu. What did you think? Of course I was going for Keen. He's the character. As, speaking of which, Sun thinks he can just get this blue buff for free. He has to flash away, and he still doesn't even get the blue.
And he still doesn't even get it, yeah.
Yeah.
Quite unfortunate, as now Afreeca, with an engaged composition, but on the back foot, are going to have to deal with the barrage that can come out of Ezreal Jace. It's going to be like a hail of arrows. You ever tried to dodge a hail of arrows?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You have experience?
It's pretty common here.
Yeah. All right, just making sure.
Yeah.
Well, Korea is #1 in archery, after all.
There you go.
So
that's the reason. A lot of people practicing. As it's 80 carry on 80 carry action here. Here comes the ult. Wild Growth has to be used. Jelly almost dies.
He's getting
on
everything.
The backside. We know who's going to win that fight. It is going to obviously go the way of Teddy.
That is one angry teddy bear. As aiming and Jelly also being forced to recall prematurely. And forcing Keen now to come to the bottom, or to the middle of the map to pick up the wave.
Yeah. We don't see as much Ezreal as we did earlier on in the patches in spring. But games like this remind you, okay, that was an interesting flash.
Yeah.
But it just reminds you of why Ezreal was so highly picked and so prized, and oftentimes picked in the first rotation very often, and just does insane poke damage. And if you're as good as Teddy, you're going to have some insane damage numbers by the end of the game.
Well, here we are now. As Aiming and Jelly are looking to try to hold the middle of the map, as Faker is just chipping away at that top tier 1 turret. Sun and Dread are almost there, though.
You see that bone plating that she had there?
Yeah.
Chain's going to land as just a defensive, almost desperate ultimate comes out of Sun to discourage Faker from going any farther, as everything's beginning to fall now. The health of Sun, the turrets on the map. Mid lane goes down. Top still being pushed after Faker wins that fight, and he'll be able to take this out as well.
Going to be another turret going over the way of SK Telecom, as the gold advantage is about 4,000 here at 21 minutes. X-Drinker completed for Lee Sin as the second item of choice. Doesn't want to get locked up by the Syndra or the Ryze.
Yeah, definitely a good idea. He's going to be packing a lot of MR. We've seen a bunch of the other teams kind of neglect some of the resistances.
Yeah.
I feel like there have been a lot of times where you're casting and you're like, yeah, nobody on their team has any resistances. Take a look at SKT. I mean, there's triple Mercs as well as double X-Drinker up in the top side.
And this would be really good if the Lucian was really fed and he could deal a lot of damage, as there's no armor really present on anyone except for Ezreal. And it's just going to be so difficult for Afreeca to deal damage, especially because Jarvan is tank, which means that a lot of his damage is just going to come from the Cinder Hulk. And it does look like he's itemizing into Black Cleaver, but really you're just going to be amplifying the damage for you and Lucian, but it's going to come online so late. So SK Telecom, they look like they have all the tools to close out this game pretty easily.
We'll see if they can get there.
Faker is level 14, by the way. I'm just going to point that out really quick.
Only a 2-level gap in the mid lane.
And if people underestimate, I feel like that's one of the most underestimated advantages that can be present in LoL. Usually, base levels can equate to almost a ruby crystal of value.
But, well, we have the insane poke that's coming out. Even Lee Sin's getting in the fun here as Faker popping over the wall. And you mentioned this kind of mid-game poke composition that this turns into. Well, they're not messing around because Khan and Teddy alone do so much. But then once you enter in Faker and Clit, it just becomes even more oppressive.
And at the highest end of play, I feel like it's also a lot easier to pilot the poke comp than it is to pilot the engage composition. Because of how slippery and flexible the poke comps tend to be, it's a lot more forgiving to mess up your positioning and then just get right back to shooting all the skill shots off and hitting something eventually, and chipping away before the opponent's just forced to concede their ground. And so now, Afreeca, they almost find themselves down 5,000 gold here at 23 minutes. It's going to be another blue buff going away. I think this one's going to be given to Teddy.
Yeah, and why not? I mean, the guy's just carrying by himself. It's Faker getting his damage down. That's one is going to miss onto Dread. He's pretty tanky. Don't think it would have killed him, but it just opens the door for more and more poke that just never seems to end.
Summoner's Rift hates us, Valdez.
Yeah.
Cloud Drake.
I mean, you know, it's the name of the game here today. As well, you can't dodge it. It's Teddy and Khan. They don't seem to miss.
And this will be bottom. Future turret potentially going down on the next wave. Faker very close to hitting 15.
Yeah.
Probably just going to steal away the Golem camp. Yep. He distorts onto it.
I guess the only thing that would be even more impressive is a Zoe. But, I mean, LeBlanc's pretty good as well. But I feel like when you're talking about, you know, the Holy Trinity.
Yeah, there's very few times I've actually gotten to see Zoe, Jace, and Ezreal all share a team.
Yeah.
And it's quite a sight to behold.
I mean, Zoe was banned by SKT. They wanted to potentially stop the LeBlanc versus Zoe, I would say, in the mid lane.
There's only one period of League of Legends history, I think, that really excites me more, and that was when Comet, I think, first came out, and Jhin and Xerath were so popular.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Azir. That was a poke. That was a poke to behold.
Fun days.
Oh, those were some very exciting times. Jhin Xerath at 18 minutes.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's so oppressive once you get ahead, but even individually, it's ridiculous because it's Teddy's Ezreal. We saw how many games he's played on this champion. I think it's something like 16 games, something ridiculous. And of course, Khan's Jace. I mean, that's part of the reason why he got so famous, right? And even Faker's LeBlanc, right? You gave so many of these individually, skilled champions for those individual players. Doesn't really surprise me that they're having this much trouble.
Yep. SK Telecom now ramping up the middle lane. Mountain Drake is going to be the next dragon spawning finally. 4 minutes away from it though. SKT, they seem very content to... Okay. That's a minigame.
It's a machine gun. He doesn't. And he doesn't back because he has Tom Kench. Look at aiming. He's like, please fight me. But he won't. He won't fight him. As Dredd gets so low, he's not even playing the game of League of Legends right now. He's playing dodgeball.
Tom's a wonderful support.
Mata's done a lot in this game.
Let's take a look at his stat line. Of course he has.
Oh, he has redemption. No, that's good.
Yeah. God forbid you get on the Ezreal. All right.
Look at the items, too, that Teddy's picked up. 12 Fields Warhammer.
Just to get that extra little bit of CDR.
Yeah, and Blade of the Rune King, like,
the machine.
Never ending.
Mata taking a quick drink from his water bottle. He knows that he has to have his devour ready. He has to have a lot of, hydration in the mouth for whenever he needs to pick up Teddy.
I wonder how Keen feels after this game. I mean, he did go 0-4, but he tried to set up so many things, and he still has the most damage on his team. It's, kind of a sad state of affairs for him. He's trying desperately. And sure, if they can ever force a fight, he would do a lot of damage, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
At this point now, though. Oh.
Okay, this is one way to try to start a fight, as they're going to get on top of Tom Kench here. Mata going to be forced to flash, but they just suspended so much to get on. Oh, the double flash! They want Teddy so much, but they can't get him because the kick comes in, and Faker comes from behind. Look at that burst damage, but Faker now got to be careful. He's going to be able to get away. Keen in not the best spot, but nice scatter the weak there from Sun to help out against Khan. The poking begins again, but they're trying to stop it here. They want to get somebody.
Teddy!
Finally can't get the Tom Kench. The ult comes in, but a stopwatch. And look at Teddy. He was never in danger the entire fight. If you thought he was, you were wrong. As now he's looking for more. And he's not going to be able to get it, but can he actually get Dredd here? 1Q, Iceborne Gauntlet, one time. It's not going to happen, but Teddy picks up a double kill. And to believe that was his first 2 kills in the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has quite a bounty on him, as do some of the SK Telecom members. Take another look, and this was honestly a very good start to the fight. Realm Warp into the Rune Prison on the Tom Kench. Redemption came out, everyone backed up, and then very quick and decisive. Re-engage onto Mata. Faker in the backline, not able to do the most amount of damage. Khan with that shock blast, softening up quite a few members on Afreeca. But honestly, it looked very close. Faker almost ended up going down right there at the end.
How did he not die? I love this re-engage again, too. The Flash Cataclysm, they're like, please, let us just have 1 kill. And they got it, but, they meant a double kill to Teddy, which we kind of saw coming. And now take a look at the summoners on the side of Afreeca. Doubt that Jelly's going to be the one engaging in onto Teddy with his flash. And there's not much that he can do. Now Maw of Malmortius just picked up here for the Ezreal.
Now that's going to be almost no hope for the Syndra or the Rise to bring down the Ezreal.
Oh, take a look at this. They're looking for Keen now, as they didn't even need Tom Kench. Clean as a whistle there from the side of SKT.
Syndra trying to push out the wave in top lane, but Khan.
Khan's getting cocky.
Yeah.
You can feel it. But is it going to matter? Doesn't seem that way. It's even 4-on-4.
Rise has teleported.
Okay.
So we'll have to see.
They're They're really gonna have to deal with that one, but Teddy once again, he's getting back on his horse.
Getting on his catfish.
There we go. Faker too, with the 1-2 punch QR straight to the face of Dread, I think it was, and say, get away, we're gonna take the inhibitor. We didn't even need Baron.
Now Teddy gonna pick up himself a red buff. That was meant for aiming, most likely, but not gonna matter. No, probably never was.
Yeah.
Take a look at how this all happened. Keen pushing up into the wave, not respecting the Tom Kenchel. Regardless, Mata coming in anyway, just for good measure. And then Khan trying to just quickly run into mid lane, probably not expecting all the members of Afreeca to just be camping there.
Does mean he will eat his second death of the game. It's kind of disappointing for his KDA, but that's just about it. Didn't have too much of an effect on the game. Speaking of KDA, Keen is 0-6. Who would have thought that Keen hopping onto the rise would die this many times, but it's a sad state of affairs this time around.
Well, Lucian has his 4th item. Lord Dominic's is the item of choice. No more crit actually completed for him, so he just has the Phantom Dancer and the Infinity Edge. A little bit surprising. Especially because there's not a lot of HP stack on the side of SK Telecom. So we'll have to see what Afreeca want to do in the next team fight. As honestly, it's beginning to feel like they just need to pull the trigger and try to hard engage. If you try to go blow for blow in an extended poke war, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. It never will.
Yeah, and because we're reaching the 4-5 item stage now, 2-manning the Baron is very possible with just a Lee Sin Ezreal or a Lee Sin Jace.
Poor Jelly.
Do you think that he's jelly right now?
Yeah, he's pretty jelly.
Is it? How jelly?
Wish he had Teddy on his team.
I like that.
The Ezreal is it's pretty good in the hands of that player.
3 minutes until the Elder coming up. SK Telecom are being extremely careful here.
You know what would have been nice instead of the Lulu was a Braum. We didn't get to see that.
We did not get to see that. We did not get to see that aggression. When I saw the Lulu pick, I thought that we were going to see some other type of hyper carry coming into the game. But that was not the case. I do like that they tried to punish the Tom Kench pick, but they really didn't. As bad as they could have. But it is nice to see a little bit of innovation at least starting to make its way to Korea. Faker!
Oh boy, Faker, what have you gotten yourself into? As I feel like we've seen this before as well. Nice surprise from the left side there from Dread. And now that they have the LeBlanc, certainly is a chance for Afreeca to get something on the map.
And now Afreeca making their way over to the Baron. They might just go for a desperation play.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, teleport.
Here we go.
Coming in.
It is Rise. He has to get into the pit. But taking a ton of damage. You know that. They need aiming to do damage, otherwise there's no point. But he lost half his health bar immediately just to one shock blast.
That might actually just be all she wrote, even though it's a 4v5.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. They're missing so much HP.
Yeah. Just wrapping his hand around them. And so
Airy
goes down to Airy. Oh, that poor Lulu. And now it's SKT's Baron. If they want it, they're absolutely going to start it.
Airy wanted picks for himself. That's what was going on there.
You know, after the TP2, there you go. And Khan's looking for more. Going for the dunk. He's going 1v3 too, and Mata's there to the rescue with the flash. SKT just styling on them tonight. Faker going for the flash too. Double flash over here from Afreeca. Trying to get that follow-up kill, and aiming does a lot of damage, but it just doesn't matter. As Khan is coming in from behind, flash into the backside. And poor Keen You're dead again, as SKT putting on a masterclass here in game number 1.
And that's going to definitely be all that they wrote. Jelly. Yeah, he's holding down the board.
Nah.
No, Jelly.
Oh, you got a kill.
You got a kill.
Oh.
They got 2 kills.
Oh, okay. That's good. He redeemed himself.
Yeah, he improved his KDA.
Guys, the game isn't over yet.
What? Wait.
Yeah, the inhibitor respawned, so,
Observers.
we're cut the music! Guys! The music! Thank you. You think SKT is gonna sit here and not pad their stats? What are you doing? Yeah, restart the music. Thank you.
That was actually pretty good. You know, that felt like a WWE moment.
Yeah.
It really did. That was pretty good.
Almost felt like BM, but in the end, SKT put on their own set of BM. Well, that was a game, LS.
Yeah, that was quite a game. We got to witness Ezreal and why he is oftentimes not allowed to be picked by certain players.
Teddy's one of them.
Teddy is definitely one of them. Teddy is one of the Ezreal players in the world that you should not give Ezreal to. Deft being another
Ruler.
one. Yep. One of the best Ezreal players is not in the LCK.
Yeah.
Pray. Moment of silence. Sad times.
Yeah. Sad times. Still around, still hanging
He's
around.
still around. Sometimes he shows up at the venue.
Yeah, he does.
So that's it was a pretty impressive poke performance, and honestly, I think it really